Hi there, it is Wemi here with your weekly dose of inspiration. So, someone recently shared a story with me of a man who had been saving up for a car for a very long time. It was his dream to own this car. He had been taking taxis and public transportation for a while. So, finally, he got this dream car, and of course, he drove it to work. After work that day, like clockwork, he called a taxi to take him home and completely forgot his car in the garage. Just completely forgot that he had a brand new car, his dream car that he bought, sitting in the garage, and he took the taxi like he always did. When I was growing up and in boarding school, I was part of the agriculture club. I had a lot of diverse interests back then, apparently. The weird part is, though, that I was always scared of the animals, which again begs the question of why I did it, but I'll unpack that later. Anyway, so one thing that was interesting about the chickens that we helped with back then is that if you kept them locked up for a very long time and then you let them out of their coops, their cages, a lot of them would go wander out, but some of them would wander out a little and then immediately turn around and walk back into their coops, into their cages. There are so many of us who pray for freedom, but then when we get it, we don't know what to do with it. So we revert back into what we know, our original cages. You pray for love. You meet someone wonderful. You get into a serious relationship or you get married. But who you were when you were single is the same person that you are when you get married. You don't automatically transform because someone threw rice over you or rose petals over you. And because you're not intentional about change and doing the work, you default to what you know, what you used to do, the dysfunction that you got comfortable with, and then you alienate the very thing that you so desperately asked for. When I was living in my first tiny studio apartment in LA, it wasn't that tiny, it was small, cozy. Um, but I would try to move things around every once in a while to spice things up. So one day I decided to move the location of my trash can. Every single time for weeks after, I would go back to the same old spot that trash can used to be. Now, please keep in mind that the apartment was not that big and the kitchen was not that big. It's not like I couldn't see where I moved it, but it takes effort to change. It takes effort to break the cycle of who you no longer choose to be. It takes consciousness to remember that you're no longer in the prison of your past. Old habits die hard, but going back to what you used to know, what made you comfortable, doesn't serve you in any way, shape, or form. This journey that we're all on is meant to grow us, to stretch us. And you're going to feel a lot of discomfort and pain in the process, but it is not meant to break or destroy us. Life is not out to get us. It is meant to show us that there is something so great within, that if we allow the process to bring that greatness and that power out of us, we can build and lead truly phenomenal lives.